Hey, we got Waleed on the panel. What's up, Waleed?
So do you have a question? I'm a Muslim.
I know. You remember I talked to you yesterday?
Maybe I forgot.
Maybe you forgot. Yeah.
You have another question or?
Yeah, well, we're just going to demonstrate that. Do you think you know Jesus?
We know Isa in Islam, the prophet of the same as Moses and Muhammad and all the prophets.
Yeah, so you don't know Jesus, you know Isa.
Jesus. What did Jesus call himself?
He called his name. He called himself the Son of Man to begin with.
No.
Do you know him as the Son of Man?
No. What did he call himself? What was his name?
His name was Yeshua.
Yeshua?
Yeah.
This is in Aramaic?
What do you mean Aramaic?
No,
it's a Hebrew name.
No, it wasn't Hebrew. It was like an Aramaic.
What are you talking about?
Yeshua in Aramaic.
No.
In Aramaic, my friend. In Aramaic, it still be Yeshua. It will still be the same thing.
But
because the Aramaic Christians, bro, relax. The Aramaic Christians today still exist, and they call him that. So I'm not sure what your problem is.
But he said that he's talking Hebrew because he didn't know the Jesus
in Hebrew. In Hebrew, his name is Yeshua.
But my question: what was Jesus' language?
That's not what you asked, bro. That's not. What are you talking about? That's not what you asked.
What did he call himself? You told me he called himself Hebrew.
I said his name. So he called his name Yeshua. His name was Yeshua. That's what Mary, his mother, gave him the name.
Yeah. So this was an Aramaic language. Yes. So Jesus, his name was not Jesus. So whatever you wrote in the questions was wrong. So you don't even know.
What are you talking about? The question I was wrong. You asked the question, so you asked the wrong question.
You said.
What are you talking about? I didn't ask a question.
The Jesus is wrong. It's not his name. So you don't know your God name.
Wait a minute.
What is you talking about?
So what's his name?
Yeshua. Yeshua. You said Yeshua. Yes, Yeshua.
That's what I said.
What's his name?
What are you talking about?
What's his name?
Why did you write Jesus? Your God name.
Hold on a second. My friend. Stop, dude. Stop. Because I'll cook you on the etymology of the name Jesus. But that's not necessarily the topic. That's not necessarily the topic. If word allows it, I'll explain it to you, but it doesn't even matter if I explain it to you anyways. You're a Muslim. You're not going to care. But that's not the topic. Do you know who Jesus is? That's the topic.
At least I know his name more than him.
You don't know his name. You think his name is Isa, bro.
Watch this.
He said Jesus.
I'm going to cook you. Now I'm going to cook you because you're being cocky. Explain to me how you get the Hebrew Yeshua into Isa with the ayin at the beginning instead of at the end. Go ahead.
Yeshua, you said. I mean, I assume that I took it from you.
Why are you stuttering? Answer my question. If his name in the Hebrew is Yeshua, how do you go from the Hebrew to the Arabic where the ayin is at the end of Yeshua? Now the ayin is at the beginning because you don't translate names, you transliterate them. So now you need to explain to us where the hell you got the name Isa from instead of Yeshua. In the Arabic, his name is Yeshua al-Masih. Explain.
Can I answer? Okay. So an Arabic name is Isa, okay? And we believe his name is Isa.
His Arabic name, I just explained to you. I said explain how you get the name Isa from the Hebrew Yeshua. His Arabic name is Yeshua.
Yeshua, yes. This is the right name, Isa. Anyhow, but it's Yeshua al-Masih, yes, in Arabic. But I'm saying Jesus is not his name. It's not either Yeshua or Isa, whatever. But Jesus for sure.
Isa is not his name.
Not his name, correct?
Well, see that his name is Yeshua.
No. Yeshua. Okay.
So you can So you can see that his name is Yeshua in Arabic.
It's whatever, but not Jesus.
No. It's not whatever. Because
I'm talking about Jesus. I'm talking about what he said. Jesus.
No. Hold on. I'm gonna explain to you. Hold on. Okay. Look, dude. Stop for a second. Breathe and listen. If you can see that his name is Yeshua in the Arabic, it matters because that means that you can trace the etymology of the name back to the Hebrew. Let me explain to you why his name is Jesus in the English. In the Hebrew, his name was Yeshua. From the Hebrew, it went to the Greek because Koine Greek was what they spoke. This is why in the Greek, his name is Jesus. From the Greek, it went to the Latin, which was Jesus or Jesus. During that time in the Latin, there was no distinction between the J and the I. So you could have pronounced it either way, but typically they pronounced it Jesus. Between the 14th and the 15th century, with the modernization of the Latin or going into the English, the I and the J became distinct. So now it was no longer Jesus or Jesus or Jesus. Now it just became Jesus. So that's why we call him Jesus in the English. Now answer my question. How the hell do you get Yeshua into Isa with the Ein at the beginning instead of at the end? Because you don't translate names, you transliterate them. You see how I just gave you a detailed explanation of the name Jesus in the English from the Greek and the Hebrew? Do the same thing with your fake Jesus. Do the same thing with your fake Fortnite Jesus. Go ahead.
You said if you go rewind like 10 seconds ago, you said Isa. You said Isa. It's in Arabic.
God, bro, you guys cannot be this. You guys cannot be this dumb.
You just said Isa. You just said.
How do you spell that? I said Jesus.
Yeah, it's Isa. Yeah, the same.
My God, dude, you can't be this dumb. I'm muting you because you literally are this dumb. If I were to transliterate the Latin into the English, would I put an Ein at the beginning or would I put an Aleph? You're muted. Answer my question. Unmute. If I'm transliterating the Latin into the Arabic, would I put an Ein at the beginning or would I put an Aleph?
Why Latin? Let's go to the original, Aramaic. Let's go from Arabic. Why go to Latin? Who cares about that? Who cares about Latin? The language of Jesus.
You're an idiot, bro. You are an idiot. You guys come up, why I embarrassed you. This is literally why I embarrassed you. If you would have came humble, or if you would have stuck to the topic, I wouldn't have baked you so bad. But I hate when you Muslims come up here and you want to tell us about our Jesus. You want to appropriate the historical Jesus and use a Fortnite skin Jesus and tell us that that's the real Jesus when you can't even tell us how the hell he got that name. How in the world do you go from Yeshua to Isa? Who is Isa? Who is this guy? My God, bro, the hubris of you people is insane, man.
They don't have no clue how they get the word Isa. They don't have no clue. Amin with the early crash out for the win.
I thought, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that was a little.
He came in hot, didn't he?
Early, man. Hey, no, instant crash.
Instant crash out.
He took the cake. First conversation, you out like that.
You know what?
Hey, I'm in the kitchen. Like, dang, I mean, going on.
You know, so somebody take a drink at 9 a.m. in the morning. You know what they say? Hey, man. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Hey, man. Fifth conversation somewhere.
Somewhere.
No, but that one, like, really that's one of the biggest things I hate. Like, that particular issue, like a year or two ago, I did a whole primer on the name Isa and Yeshua. And I went on Thaddeus's channel and I did like a whole 2-hour, like, explanation of this particular topic, bro. And it just, like, the more you research it, because, like, here's the thing, and then I'll mute up. If I can convince you that you have a different Jesus, then that different Jesus doesn't give you salvation. So the Jesus of the Bible offers salvation. But if I can change Jesus, even so much as...
You breaking up, I mean?
Oh, sorry. I had a phone call. Yeah. If I can change his name, because in the Greek, his name, or in the Hebrew even, Yahweh is salvation. But if I can change the name into Isa, and then we ask you, okay, so what does the name mean? Because all names in the Bible, they have meanings. Yep. Names, and they always point back to God in some kind of way. But if I can change the name of Jesus to some fake person that never even existed, now we ask you, okay, so what does the name Isa mean? They don't know.
Yep. They got some substitutionary version of Jesus. This is why. And I was going to go a little bit further with them, but if we can't get past the name of the person that we're talking about, then we know we ain't going to be able to really talk about the crucifixion with him. We ain't going to be able to talk about, you know, his disciples and what was he teaching. They you know, phase one, life. We couldn't even get past phase one.
Yeah. His initial response was because the Quran says so. I mean, Amin gave him all that information, and all he said was, "Yeah, that's his name."
That's why I was like, at first I wasn't even gonna do it to him, bro. I was like, "It's no point in me even explaining this to you because you're not like you're a Muslim." But then he started edging me on, man. I was like, "All right, bro, now I gotta bake you real quick."
You good, Ninja Dawah, after that beat down Jay just put on you?
No, it didn't beat nothing, bro. It didn't beat nothing.
Jay just put it on you, man.
Ninja Dawah probably got clips of that, and he probably
live react. Hold on, wait, one by one. Okay. First of all, we debated about was the original Quran, but
okay.
But
it was a good debate. Like it's new, refreshing. You know what I'm saying?
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on JP Uncut channel.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
What was the debate topic again? You said
the original Quran. It's the original Quran burnt.
Was the original Quran what?
Burnt.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's a new topic. Like I don't think anybody's ever really done something like that.
That's why I said it was a good topic, new, refreshing topic. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the same old mundane topics that most Christians and Muslims debate. I think it was a fun debate. I think it was cordial. Wasn't too much name calling. You know what I mean? It was a good, nice, quick debate.
Ninja Dawah, what do you take the original Quran to be? I'm sure you were on the opposite side. So what do you take the original Quran to be?
The original Quran is the Qurayshi dialect, which Hafsa had, which we're reading today as well. All the Muslims read it.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out, man. I don't got nothing to say because I hashed it, so and check it out.
Yeah. So just FYI, Ninja, it's not Hafsa's codex; it's Abu Bakr's codex. She just had the copy. Okay, number one. Number two, there were no diacritical marks during that time yet. So to have it in Uthman, in Qurayshi dialect and all that other stuff, vowelization, all that other stuff, really didn't mature at that time.
Yeah, I know, but the Uthmanic Codex would be under the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he's the one that taught the Sahabas and the companions in the Quraysh dialect. So it wouldn't make sense for you to say.
Well, here's the thing: we do not have. They do say the Birmingham copy, the 2 pages of it, could be Uthmanic Codex. The consensus is still there that it is the Uthmanic Codex. The radiocarbon dating is there, which is a huge range. But it's nothing tied to Uthman. And the Birmingham copy doesn't match your Hafs Quran. Your Hafs Quran is supposed to be the one you have at home, supposed to be Uthman's codex. And we can't even find Uthman's manuscripts. Full manuscripts are lost. 9, he actually sends it to 9 places. People think 5. I've got evidence where he sends it to 9 places. So it's anyways.
I mean, Ninja Dawah, he admitted that in a debate that they don't have the original Uthmanic
Right,
codex.
that's what I was getting ready to ask. Like was the debate on whether because I'm trying to understand the debate topic. So Ninja, is your position like, okay, like we actually have the Uthmani Mus'haf or Masahif or that we don't have it, but that's not important?
No, my initial argument was that first of all, the entire all the dialects were oral tradition. It was taught by the Prophet himself, right? And since they differentiated, right, in the dialects, they wanted to.
Wait, why do you keep saying dialects?
Yeah, there were dialects. Well, okay, in the Quran, okay, let me tell you, right? When the Quran was first revealed, right, it was gonna spread out through the entire Arabian Peninsula, right? And it wasn't revealed in one dialect because not everyone in the 7th century Arabia spoke the same dialect. It was revealed in 7 ahrufs, and Jay can confirm this.
Well, no, it says that it was revealed in the Qurayshi dialect, and then the ahruf, like those, it says it was revealed in the Qurayshi dialect in 7 ahruf. That just means letters. So it doesn't mean that it's like dialects. It just means that they all were revealed in the same
dialect. Do you know what ahruf is?
It just means letters.
No, ahruf is dialects.
No, it's not. No, it's not that.
But still, ahrufs
are not dialects.
Yeah, lafda means dialect.
Yeah,
like for instance, if I say, like for instance, if I say, أنا بتعلم لهجة مصرية, I'm learning the Egyptian dialect. Like a Saudi, like that's what dialect means. Ahruf literally comes from harf, which means letter. It means letters. It's plural
I
for
mean,
letter.
correct. But Amini. My position was like, okay, first of all, all these lessons from the Quran are taught by the Prophet himself. They're taught by the companions themselves, right?
Okay.
And we do actually indeed have a.
Hey, I'm gonna give y'all like 10 minutes, and then we're gonna get to the topic.
Oh yeah,
right? Nah, but go ahead, because I think him and Jay.
Look it up.
I think him and Jay
Look up the
wanna.
debate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch the debate, so I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'll just let Jay
Right.
and go against it.
Yeah, let me state my position. My position was the very first Mus'haf compiled together, which is all the revelations into a single book, was done under Abu Bakr. They burnt that very first original one because it differed from Uthman's different.
According to who?
After the entire debate, you're asking
Jay.
this question.
Marwan, hold on. You said Marwan, right? You said Marwan burnt it because it differed. No, he had fear it might have differed. He didn't make a clear
Right.
statement.
I'm glad you went with those other boys when they said they picked up the Arabic. When it says might fear the differences might be differences, it actually means there was.
You're not gonna tell an Arab what an Arab
Wait.
not Arab.
I'm glad you flipped after the debate to now say might have differed. So that means they burned the Quran when they weren't even certain.
How's a
that there
non-Arab
was any
teaching me in
differences?
Arabic, bro?
Hold on, listen to my question.
He's not
Listen to
just
my
teaching you
question.
Arabic. He's just going by what the hadith and stuff said.
Right. So listen to my question. If you take the other side, what these boys are trying to do, you're in worse trouble. If you say, "Oh,
Which
they
boys?
weren't
Which
any-"
boys?
Well, let me
Which boys?
finish. Let me finish. If you say he feared that there might be differences, that means he did not know there might be differences.
And he
Then
bur-
you're saying that the guys actually burnt it with no reason at all. That makes it worse for you. At least you could sit down and say they burnt it because they feared there were differences. You want to follow the trail of the guys who came up and asked me those two questions? Do it. I was hoping you would do it in the debate because I would say, wait a minute, does that mean they burned the first verbatim words of Allah? The true source from Allah. Understand this, brother. The first Quran that was compiled together was taken from direct sources. Uthman goes and gets his Mus'haf from everybody else's copy, right? The first Quran that was compiled together under Abu Bakr, the first Mus'haf, the Codex was done, was where did they go and get it from? Leaves, palm stalks, stones, and other people. So they're getting it from the original sources. They're not relying on, this one's Quran over there and send me all your manuscripts and send me all your Quran. No, they're going to the direct sources. That sucker is the most original, perfect Quran that you have. Closest to Allah's words, closest to Muhammad's words, revelation that came out. You guys burned that sucker. Now, if you want to go on the basis of, it said might be differences, no problem. No problem, we'll run with that. That means you're saying you burned them without even knowing if there were any differences or not. You burned the original Quran without knowing any differences.
Okay, one sec. I'm not gonna make this long. It's gonna be like 30 seconds, right? It's not also about the differentiative part, right? It's also about where Marwan said, "I'm scared it might confuse people in the future on." That's why he also burnt the copies as well. It's got nothing to do with differentiative as well.
My analogy, I gave you this, right? If you're given the original Mona Lisa today,
I already
and
destroyed
somebody
that.
25 years later comes and says, I have a copy of the Mona Lisa. She doesn't smile as much as the original. Take this. Will you sit down and tell them, to hell with what you got? Everybody, I'm going to keep my original. You should have told, the natural reaction should have been, stop, Uthman, everybody else, we're going to standardize, we're going to use the original. That is going to be the granddaddy of the Qurans we're going to use. But why did they say no? Because Uthman's ego did this. Let me tell you something else. I didn't show you, and I forgot about that in the debate. Do you know when Uthman was being unalived, he was being unalived by Abu Bakr's son? And while he was unaliving him, Abu Bakr's son, he says, I'm unaliving you because you changed the Quran.
Yep.
I have that. I completely forgot about that sucker. Because I went like, that would have been another death knell for you guys.
Yeah, the
That's
reason
kinda
why
crazy, bro.
Uthman died is because they beat him up because they claimed he changed the Quran.
Hey, really?
I have
That's
it in
wild.
the Arabic.
Yeah.
I have it, everything out here. He's separating,
go ahead, Jay.
just 2 seconds. Sorry, brother. He's separating the neck from the shoulder of Uthman. While he's doing that, he says, I'm doing it because you changed the Quran.
Yeah, Jay.
Uthman's ego wanted that Quran. He shouldn't have burned the original.
Yeah, Jay, I'm doing like a video right now on the compilation of the Quran, like trying to understand it from the historical, like literally from a historical perspective, starting at, you know, the Hijri of Muhammad, like when the Hijri started. And I know that Mujahid, like he was like the first or not compiler, like the first canonization of the Quran came from him in 44 Hijri. So like I'm trying to like yeah.
No, the Imam Mujahid was in the 11th century, dude. 9,
Yeah,
10th,
he the one that
sorry,
standardized the
9th, 10th
Qirats.
century, not 44, not 40.
Was he the
When you
one that
say
standardized
44,
the
I don't know.
He
44
standardized
years after
the
Hijrah.
Qirats.
Yeah, that's the one who did the Qirats. Now, the other part of it also, I mean, he gets confused with Arhuf and Qirats. He's mixing up dialects that he's talking about. Arhufs are not dialects. Because the hadith on the Arhufs, when it was revealed to him, was there were two people that were arguing over the verses, and they went to Muhammad. Both the people were Qurayshi. They were from the same tribe. They had only one single dialect.
But
Okay, Jay, one sec.
They beat up who they beat up Ibn Masud because he had and he ended up dying from like
They
a
beat up
collapsed
Ibn
lung.
Masud. They beat up Ibn Masud because he refused to send his Quran to Uthman. Uthman compiles his Quran, right? We didn't even talk about that stuff. When Uthman compiles his Quran, by the way, Ibn Masud's Quran is very famous,
different.
and Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran is very famous in where? In Sham and in Iraq. Remember that Uthman says, "My people were fighting my people."
Can you guys hear me?
People of the Iraq.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was going through the thing I was saying. I forgot for them, they're like their year starts like later than ours. So when I say 44 Hijri, it's the same thing as the 300s. Ninja can confirm. Like their year 44 is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's weird. Like not weird in the aspect of like they just have a different calendar.
Some amount
No,
of time
it's
after
the same
Hijrah.
thing.
But 44 after Hijrah means 44 years after Hijrah. 100 years after Hijrah
Yo, Jay,
means...
one sec. I need to go into
100
I'm gonna ask you. Hold on.
Hijrah means 100 years after 622.
I think the where you and I'm just being totally unbiased, Ninja. I think where you didn't get what Jay was actually coming from is if they compiled it from Hafsa, right? They got it from Hafsa, and they rewrote it according to Hafsa's Musaf, right? And then they sent it back to Hafsa. But then later, when Marwan comes, he requests that same Musaf back from Hafsa, and then he burns that one because it doesn't matches the Uthmanic ones. So the original one was Hafsa's Quran, but they burnt that one. No, they burnt that
hold
one.
one second. The Hafsa's Codex is in Qurayshi dialect, which is today. The Quran today is in the Qurayshi dialect.
But this is what we're saying. How do you know? How do you know when they burnt Hafsa's Codex?
And hold on. And you also said he rewrote it. We don't have an issue with him rewriting it because the Quran is an oral tradition.
But hold on,
memorized.
listen. The reason why they burnt hers is because it differed from the Uthmanic one, the same one that Uthman supposedly used.
Do you know how much manuscripts the Quran has?
You're not getting
Brother,
what
you
you're
keep
not
on
getting
calling
what
it
we're saying.
Hafsa's Codex, right? Let me, Ninja, you keep on saying Hafsa's Codex. It's not Hafsa's Codex, it's Abu Bakr's, that she just has it with her. If I write the original, if I am the original author of a book and I hand it to you, it doesn't become your book. It's still me, J49er, who's the author of that book. The Codex, it's Abu Bakr who got that Codex. Hafsa did not get a new Codex. It's the same one that she gets from Abu Bakr.
Well, this is the thing that I want to know. Well, look, guys, this is what I'm trying to figure out, because whether or not the Quran is like 100% intact, or if it was never been changed, or if it, to be completely honest with you, it doesn't matter.
It don't matter to me
because the context.
It matters to the Muslims.
The reason why I'm saying this is because the reason it doesn't matter is because let's say that it never was changed at all. The stuff that's in it is still false. And that's actually what the topic is, like, and not to try to like abruptly change it, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, you guys. What do you mean?
No, he's talking about what this topic. He's talking about what my topic is.
No, I'm talking about their topic. Yeah, I'm talking about words
The
topic.
debate?
Like,
No,
no, no,
no,
no, no,
no.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying,
I mean, I apologize. Go ahead.
no, so, no. I'm saying like even if it was like never changed, and what we have today is the original, untampered, it's still
It's
talking about
still
a
all
fake
false
Jesus.
stuff. Yeah.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out like why do you guys think
Yeah.
that y'all believe in Jesus? Like who is Jesus to you guys?
Jesus, peace be upon him, is our beloved.
You don't know nothing about him.
The Bible itself says he's a prophet from Nazareth.
Wait.
Oh,
okay,
so you
okay,
have to go
okay.
to the
I just wanted
Bible
question him
to know
about
anything
his
about
You don't have
Jesus.
to, yeah, because the Bible is a corrupted Muslim text. That's all.
Hold on. So you got to know what the Bible says about Jesus to know anything about Jesus.
Yeah, because the Bible is strictly about Jesus, and the Quran is strictly about prophets that were sent before Jesus.
So you
and
believe
prophets.
what the Bible says about Jesus?
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily, because the Bible calls him a curse. We don't believe he's a
Whoa,
curse.
hold on.
He's a Christian.
We're talking about his biographies as far as Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We're not
Yeah,
talking
I
about
don't trust
Paul's or
Matthew,
nothing
Mark,
like
Luke, and
that yet.
Hold on. Word. We don't. Hold on. First of all, we don't say Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were eyewitnesses. They never walked to them.
It don't
they never
matter
spoke
what
to
you
them.
say.
Yes,
You still use
Because-
it. You still use it to know things about Jesus.
we don't, because we have the Quran.
You
We don't need the
do.
Bible.
You just said it.
According to, we don't know. Yes. First of all, I never said
No
we
or
need the
yes.
Bible to
Which
know
one
who
is
Jesus
it? No or yes?
And hold on. When did I say we need the Bible to know who Jesus is? Did I make that statement?
You just said it. I said you
What
don't
did I
know
say?
nothing
Can you
about
still-
Jesus.
still,
He
man?
said, yeah, we do because we can go to the Bible.
No. Hold on.
You just said that.
Steelman, what I said. Steelman, what I said. Say again.
I literally just said it. I said, y'all don't know nothing about Jesus. He said, yeah, we do because we can go to the Bible and what the Bible says about Jesus. You just said that.
Yes. Meaning.
Yes. And
meaning
where do you
your
know
own
anything about
Bible-
Jesus from?
No. Your own Bible sees him as a prophet. I was trying to make a claim that he
And
is
I
also a
asked
prophet
you,
in the Bible.
bro, is the Bible accurate about what Jesus said? And then you went
Not
to,
necessarily.
you said no about the curse, but that's in Galatians and that's Paul. I'm talking about the synoptic gospels. I'm talking about
Yeah, but
the
according
gospels.
to you, Paul is a disciple.
We're not talking about no. Paul is not a disciple. Stop saying that.
Yeah, but he's one of his eyewitnesses.
No.
Yes,
According to okay, do you like?
Red
How do
herring.
you know? Yeah, that's why I'm not going.
No,
How do
that's
you
not
know?
bad.
How do you know where Jesus even was born at?
Yeah, he was born in Bethlehem.
How do you know that?
What do you mean? How do we know that? Hold on. Yeah, the Quran also says he was born near
No, he
10
doesn't.
kilometers away from.
No, it doesn't.
What do you mean? No, it doesn't?
The Quran doesn't say nothing about Bethlehem where he was born.
Yeah, we know he was.
Ninja, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Ninja, I ain't gonna hold you. I really thought you was getting ready to say the Quran.
He did. That's what he
not the
said.
Quran.
The Quran says.
Not the Quran.
The Quran doesn't say
The Quran,
nothing
but that's
about
it.
Bethlehem, bro.
Yeah, but when you say Muslims know nothing about Jesus,
You don't.
In what? What do you mean? In what sense, though? In what sense?
Any and every sense, you don't know nothing about
Okay,
Jesus.
so when we say he's a prophet, are we lying?
You think it's Isa that's a prophet?
Okay, bro. If I no,
Isa
that's
is
just
not
the way you
Jesus.
say this in Arabic. Watch this. Watch this now, okay? What's the word Jesus originated from?
Let's
what
not go
language?
there,
It's
bro.
Greek, right?
We're talking about
Jesus,
we're talking
Jesus.
about
Hold on,
we're
I'm trying to
talking
make a
about
point.
the
Word and I,
historical Jesus,
yes,
bro.
I'm trying to make a point. Jesus comes from the word Greek, right? Isus, okay, which translates into English Jesus. In Arabic, we will say Isa, right? In Hebrew, it will be
man, you
Yeshua.
gonna make it go off again.
No, man.
You about to
no,
sin
dude.
I mean off
No,
again,
dude.
bro.
No, dude. In the Greek, it was Aes. In the Greek, it was Aes.
Isus, whatever
Yeah,
it was.
no. So then let me ask you the question. After it left Greek, what language would it have went to?
After he left Greek,
Yes. From
not sure.
Iesus. Where did it go from Iesus?
Jesus, I'm not sure, bro. I'm not
Latin.
gonna answer.
It went to Latin,
I'm gonna be
bro.
honest. If I don't know,
Latin.
okay. I mean, if I don't know, I'm gonna say I don't know.
That's
I'm
fine.
not gonna
That's fine. That's admirable. Thank you. So it went from the Greek to the Latin. In the Latin during that time, up until about the 14th or the 15th century, the J and the I were not distinct. Like you can literally look this up. Like they were the same letter. So you could have pronounced it Jesus the same, or you could say Jesus, or
Jesus,
you could say right, or you could say Jesus. Typically, people pronounced it Jesus.
But in
When
English,
it-
it's different.
But okay, exactly. So then when it went from the Latin to the English, the I and the J, because there was a period of time where the I and the J then became distinct. The
You breaking up again, I mean.
I and
You're
that's
cutting out,
why. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, no, not anymore. Fair enough.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Repeat the last 10 seconds.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So then, okay, thank you. Sorry, there I'm going through some test spots, bro. Sorry. So then the I, I believe it was between the 14th and the 15th century. The I and the J then became distinct in the English language. So this is why and if you notice, if you pronounce the English alphabet, like we can demonstrate it now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So again, there was a time where the I and the J, it was like the same letter, but then they became distinct in terms of pronunciation. So that's why now in English we call him Jesus. The problem that you guys have is that, I mean, if you want to go from the Greek to, I think that's a non sequitur, because if his name in the Hebrew was Yeshua, which actually came from the old Hebrew Yehoshua, if his name in the modern Hebrew during that time was Yeshua, why then would you go to a foreign language that's not a sister language? Why would you transliterate from the Hebrew to the Greek, then from the Greek to the Latin, then from the Latin to the Arabic, when you could just go straight from the
From the
Hebrew,
Hebrew to the Arabic.
right, to the Arabic, or the Hebrew to the Aramaic?
I mean, let me ask you something, right? What do you think his real name was?
Yeshua.
And why do you call him Jesus?
Because we speak
because
English.
I just explained it to you.
That's what
Because
we
we
just
speak
explained.
English.
Well, you speak English, so that's why you call him Jesus, right?
Yes.
We just explained.
And
how-
what's the issue with Arabs calling him Isa? If they speak Arabic, are they going to call him Jesus?
Perfect. Okay, so the reason why it doesn't work is because you don't translate names. You transliterate them. Do you know the difference between translating and transliterating?
Yes, if I translate Jesus into Google Translate, it'll come out as Isa in Arabic. That's my point.
But it doesn't make it right, because I can
Yes,
show you.
what?
Hold on. Because I can show you from Sir Ibn Asha, where he actually agrees with us. He said, yeah, actually, his name comes from Yeshua or Yeshua, but I think it says something like, what does it say? I have to pull it up and show you. Because you speak Arabic, right?
Not dumb. I mean, I'm whitewashed. I'm westernized.
Oh, okay.
I
Because
understand.
I have it in Arabic only, but the Ibn guy, Ibn Thewordandi, you speak Arabic, right?
I speak a little bit. Yeah,
That's Hassan.
Sure.
Hassan at the bottom. Hassan
Yeah.
speaks Arabic.
Yeah, like if I were to show you something, could you read it, Hassan?
Why do
Or
the Arab?
Hassan?
Hold on. Why do the Arab Christians don't call
Okay.
him Isa? The Arab
Okay,
Christians
so
call him Isu.
let me finish
Isa,
saying this. Let me finish explaining this. Sorry. I just want, like, so basically the idea you said, like, if I put Jesus in the Google Translate and I transliterate it to I mean, and I translate it to Arabic, it'll say Isa. But if I put the word Yeshua in the Arabic side, when it translates to English, it's going to say Jesus. So who's correct? So
Yeah, well, if you translate to the Arabic,
no, I'm saying, like, if I write it in Arabic right now in
Yes.
Google Translate, and then it translates it into English, it's gonna say Jesus. So so how Google Translate works is it takes, because that's how the algorithm works. It just takes a collective of what the internet or what people or sources online are saying.
Yeah.
And it does have a system as to translating it. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't, but it just takes that and puts it and just says, hey, like, this is how you, like, this is what people are saying. How you would actually know is if you go by the linguistic principles. So for instance, in Hebrew, like, you know, if I say shalom aleichem, right? Like, shalom, it's spelt with a sheen.
isn't it
But-
Semitic, right? It's Semitic.
Yes, it is. So when you translate shalom into Arabic, it would be
Hey, YouTube. I'm sorry. I don't want to stop the show, but come on. We missing like 200 likes. We missing like 200 likes. Let's get the likes up, people. What's wrong? Why we're not hitting the like button? The more you hit the like, the more to send it out, and we'll get into the algorithm. I'm sorry, but come on. If y'all like the conversation, if y'all like the channel, please hit the like button. 434, the like button. That's all I ask. And we got almost 400 people in here. We don't even have 200 likes. Hit the like button.
is, how do you get a transliteration from Yeshua into Isa where the Ain is literally at the beginning instead of the end? And Tafsir Ibn Ashur, in his Tafsir, he says the reason is because the name Yeshua or Yeshua, like, it was difficult for the Arabs to pronounce it correctly. So they turned it backwards, because the name Yeshua is Ajami. It's not it's not an Arab name. It's not an Arab word. So he said that they modified the name by kind of flipping it so that it would be easier on the tongues of the Arabs. But that's just what you guys call him, but that's not his name.
That's not his name.
His actual name would be Yeshua.
No, I'm not denying that his name was not.
But this is kind of because you don't know Arabic, so you won't get exactly.
I mean, he knows Arabic, but he just wouldn't. Yeah,
But,
I mean,
I don't know that much.
ما فيش مشكلة أنا أفهم. But like I'm saying, like if I was to like show it to you like from the tafsir, like I mean it's fine. Like I mean that's not important. But the idea that I'm saying is how we know what the names are is because they follow rules.
Thanks for the
and
subs.
What we've been asking for 1400 years is where did this name Isa come from? Now, me personally, and then I'll mute up because I have to order some Burger King. Me personally, and this isn't a knock against you because you've been really like chill, like, you know, I'm not screaming at you and we're having a conversation. So I can respect that. So I'm not saying this to be offensive unnecessarily. I personally believe because our scriptures say that there's power in the name of Jesus, like the correct Jesus. So if we can change the name of Jesus, then we can give you a separate Jesus. Because it's saying that the name of Jesus, demons were being cast out because Yeshua, it means Yahweh is salvation. If we ask Muslims, and we've been asking them, what does the name Isa mean? They can't tell us. It can't mean Yahweh is salvation because then you're agreeing that the name of your God is Yahweh. And then that's extremely problematic. So we've never got an answer for this. And I've looked on Islam Q&A and there's been a couple of different answers for it, but none of them really make any sense. But
even so, I mean, we on the name part, we'll even grant you that y'all call him Isa, right? But you don't know the historical Jesus, the real Jesus that actually was historically accurate.
Let me make one point, okay? Regardless of where his name was, Yeshua, Jesus, Isa, whatever it is, yeah? It doesn't change the fact, right, that he's still our prophet, and we do respect him, and we do love him more than our parents. It doesn't change anything. We don't care why his name is.
Let's see. How do you love him, respect him? You don't know nothing about him. You literally don't know nothing about him.
Okay, well then, can I argue the point where you're gonna say to me, I don't know Jesus and I don't love him, but I can say the same to you. You don't know the real Jesus.
Yeah, we do because we know historically what he did, how he lived his life, right? Who was his, like, you can't answer none of the foundational information about Jesus. And then can two people...
When you mean historically, what do you mean?
Because in history, our Bible is a historical book. And
that's circular reasoning. That's
No, it's not. Because we can look outside. Hold on. This is why it's not circular. We can look outside of our Bible. Hold on, Hassan. We can look outside of our Bible and we can get literally historical accounts of this person, said Jesus. We have secondary sources that back up what we believe about Jesus, not what you believe about Jesus. That's why it's not circular.
And another reason
do you
why
have any secondary source that proves that Jesus said whatever is claimed that he says in the Gospels?
And another reason,
a single secondary source that
Hassan, yeah, bro, you hear Brother Chris talking.
So the reason why, again, it's not circular is because there's 4 attestations of the same event. So when we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they are different attestations. The reason why we say it's circular logic with the Quran, there is only one author for the Quran. If there is only one author, then it's circular logic. If there's multiple people, it's not circular logic.
Okay, Christ, what's the earliest attestation of these 4 Gospels?
The earliest attestation of the Gospel? What do you mean?
Like,
an attestation?
The dating. Like, what's the earliest dating of these 4 Gospels?
It's Mark. It comes between the 12 to 15 years after Jesus' death. And that's very... It's not.
Hold on, that's a lie.
It was written in the 50s, bro. What are you talking about?
Hold on. You made a claim.
It was written in the 50s, bro.
Okay. Would you agree that Jesus died at 33 AD or 30 to 33 AD, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree? Okay, and the 4 Gospels are dated around...
The earliest one is in the 50s, like 55, 56.
No.
Yeah, it is.
I would make an argument that all 4 were written before 70 AD, especially John, because John depicts the area before the destruction of the temple, meaning it would have been written before the destruction of the temple.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm saying it doesn't.
I will add to this, if I could add to this real quick. Back then, even within the first century, it's not late. Otherwise, you'll have to throw all your hadiths out. If you sit down and get standards out there, you got to even throw your Quran out, by the way, because you guys don't even have all that stuff. So
Jay, the difference between the hadith,
it's not late.
Jay, the difference between the hadith and the gospel is the hadith was written at the time of the prophet. Some of them came after his death. It doesn't matter. The gospels were not written at the time of Jesus.
No, they wasn't.
What?
No, they wasn't.
You made a claim saying that the hadith. No. Some have the hadith were actually written in the time of Jesus. If you look at Sayyid's hadith, right, Zayd, right, it was written at the time of the Prophet Muhammad.
Now we'll go into Isnad. Now we'll go into.
I don't even want to go to that. I don't even want to go to that.
But even in the first century, it's not late if it was in the first century. What do you think? People don't have any memories? Someone dies now, that means they don't have any memories for 20 years.
Okay, watch this. Why do your own scholars, hold on, Jay, one sec. Why do your own scholars say that we don't know who Martha Macaulay is?
It's not our scholars.
These were the names of the Gospels.
None of them dispute that they were written in the first century.
Jay, these were the names of the Gospels, not the people. This was added later on by the church fathers. This is false.
The early church fathers actually attest to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John as being the writers. And
which church fathers?
To them being dated earlier than
which
most.
Which ones? Name them.
So
all
we
of
take
them.
the early church.
What do you mean all of them? Name one. Just give me one name. Which?
Irenaeus.
I'll get my slide.
Irenaeus?
Yeah.
Irenaeus?
It says that, yeah. Irenaeus says that in his book Against Heresies, I believe it's book 3, chapter 8, section 11. He says Matthew wrote Matthew, Mark wrote Mark, Luke wrote Luke, John wrote John. And his actual argument for it is that he looks at them like he says something about them being the 4 pillars of the church. Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna have to question you on this. If you look at John's, if you look at the end of John's gospel,
I was at Burger King, man. Can I get 4 barbecue sauces?
Yo, bro, you need to go on mute.
No, that's a good order, dude.
Thank you so much.
We're all hungry. We want to make a crystal run.
Yeah, bro. I'm getting hungry, man. Like, come on, man.
You know?
So, guys,
Thank you so much.
I have the names here. Tertullian of Carthage, Clement of Alexandria, Irenaeus of Lyons, the Matorian fragment, Justin Martyr.
Oh yeah, talking of food, I left my. Hold on, Chris, one sec. Talking of food, I left my thingy downstairs. Just give me 1 minute. Oh, hold on. I'll continue this up.
Yeah, bro, you getting hungry too.
Yeah, I got my burger downstairs, man. It made me hungry. Give me 1
I'll
sec.
bring you up the dates of the gospel.
Can you please repeat your reference to Irenaeus? You said book 3, what?
I think it is book 3. I can pull over in a second if you want, and I can actually show you where he says
No,
that.
because I actually had the book in hand. I'm just looking for it, but I don't see it.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Mark was
Give
written
me
in
one
the
second. Let me pull
50s.
over.
They suspect from 50 to 56 AD. Matthew was written in 60. Luke was written in 60 to 62. John was written in 85 through, or the latest is from 95. Acts was written in 60 to 62 as well. What are you talking about? That's within literally decades.
That's the consensus of scholars, right?
Yeah.
I would date John earlier.
The consensus of scholars that Mark is written when?
In the 50s, the mid 50s.
According to consensus, can you bring up the citation?
But while he does that, just help me out on this. I find it absolutely.
It don't matter because they come way earlier.
What?
Word just
No, they don't.
They're early, bro. Compared to anything else in antiquity, the Gospels accounts is literally within decades of the actual person's life. You can't find that with nobody. Julius Caesar's his biographies and stuff come hundreds of years later. Aristotle and all of these other people comes like thousands of years later. Even the Jewish historian Josephus, his works is literally thousands of years removed. There's no other work contemporaneous like the Gospels to Jesus's life. Decades, man, if you look it up, decades is actually like, that is so far like nothing else that we have in antiquity. That is amazing. And we got so many thousands of manuscripts. For all of these other people, they got 2-3 manuscripts. I think one got 10. Everything else is pales in comparison to the Gospels in the preservation in the manuscript evidence of what we have for Jesus' life. There's nothing come close to it, bro.
Can I get the big screen just really quick, and then I'll go back on mute because I got to start driving again. I just wanted to show us in this source because I found it since he has the actual book, and then I'll let you guys finish taking over because I got to get back on the road. I don't want to try to read it while I'm driving. That's all I'm asking.
You say you need what now? The big screen?
Can I get the big screen? Yeah, because I don't want to drive it while I'm like on the road, and so that's why I'm like, let me just do this right now while I'm pulled over. So this is the source. Okay, so this is Against Heresies, Book 3, chapter, hold on one second. This is chapter 11, section 8. So Against Heresies, Book 3, because you said you have the physical copy. Against Heresies, Book 3, chapter 11, section 8. And this is what it says, and I highlighted it. I'll just read it quickly. For that according to John relates his original, effectual, and glorious generation from the Father, thus declaring, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's John. It literally says John 1:1, but we know where that's from. Also, all things were made by him. Without him was nothing made. For this reason, too, is that gospel full of all confidence, for such is his person. But that according to Luke, taking up his priestly character, commenced with Zacharias the priest offering sacrifice to God. For now was made ready by a fatted calf, about the immolated finding again a younger son. Then he says, Matthew again relates his generation as a man, saying the book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham, and also the birth of Jesus Christ was of his wives. This then is the gospel of his humanity, for which reason it is too that the character of a humble and meek man is kept up through the whole gospel. Mark, on the other hand, commences with a reference to the prophetic spirit coming down from on high to men, saying the beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, as it is written in Isaiah prophet, pointing to the winged aspect of the gospel. And on this account, he made a copimendious and curious narrative. Cursory narrative, for such is the prophetical character. And if you keep reading this, he explains why necessarily there had to be 4 gospels, and he likens it to the book of Revelation, how you have the 4 I think it's seraphim or 4 cherubim that surround the throne of God, and he says that those 4 gospels are the pillars of the church. So I mean, there's a historical source for it. Like it's right there. That's what you asked for. Now, if you're going to try to discredit the gospel writers through some other kind of means, you can try to do so, but you're not going to be able to discredit it through the patristics. You're just not going to be able to do it.
Can I get like the century that Irenaeus was in again?
Irenaeus lived in the mid 2nd century.
Yeah, I think so.
2nd century.
I'm going to mute up, guys. God bless.
Yeah, so I also have a quick question here.
But the point is, go ahead, Jay, and we're gonna get back to the topic because they're waffling now.
Right. The standards that you're asking us to establish, I like it, but you guys don't even know anything. If you apply it back to you guys, you don't even know who wrote what in your book.
Oh yeah, so is that why the Quran has a chain of narration and transmission? Does your Bible have that?
So here's the deal, right?
No, hold on. One sec. Does your Bible have a chain?
Let me speak.
Let Jay finish. Let Jay finish.
Let me just speak for a second, okay? You have nothing on the books that actually has a manuscript chain that you can show behind it. All you're trying to tell me is we, as an opposing thing for our Quran, is that we have 3 Abus, 4 Salims, and 1 Muhammad as a name we put on the chain of narrators, so believe them. That's all you bring to us. We've got all these other people who attest, contemporaries around their times, who attest to John and Matthew and Paul and everybody else, Luke and everybody else, okay? Mark and everybody else, they attest to all this stuff. But when you tell us, hey, believe my manuscript because it has, I'm just kind of throwing this out there, 3 Abus, 2 Salims in there. And we go like, okay, let's test if their contemporaries or even them have any manuscript evidence that have sat down and said these guys actually were involved in it. You go like, no, we don't have it. Just
we actually do have early Quran information.
All you do is just throw names at us.
Do you know what's funny, Jay? Let me tell you something, right? You're confusing the two different methods, right? I don't think you know what you're talking about. First of all, we do have early Quranic manuscripts that date back to the generation of the Prophet. We don't have a full manuscript chain, but the Mashaf was copied from the Mashaf by X by X. You know what I'm saying?
What do you have? What do you have?
Yeah, we have the oral tradition, right? Plus the early standardization.
What do you have as a manuscript? What do you have?
Okay, manuscript. We got the Birmingham manuscript. We've got the Rasana.
I mean, guys, just respectfully, like,
This off topic.
what does this have to do with them prove? Yeah, like, what does this have to do with
Bro,
the
Jay
Muslims
literally
proving?
switches the goalpost. He
No,
does
it's,
this.
it's-
No.
I mean, Jay's passionate. I
But
mean,
what
he
Jay
did a
is
lot of
doing,
study
he's
on this,
showing
like,
y'all
we get
that
it.
he's showing y'all.
No,
that.
I mean,
hold on. This is what Jay. Hold on, Ninja. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Jay is showing. Hold on. Jay is just showing you, right, that the same thing that y'all wage against us can be used against you. So don't operate with a double standard. This all Jay is telling you. He don't want to go into all of this and manuscript. He's just showing you that we can say the same thing about y'all that y'all say about us. But really y'all can't, because we do have, you talking about the chain around narration, we do have an apostolic succession. Whether the disciples who taught the apostles who taught the church fathers and all of these things was passed down. We know these things. And any gaps that we have in manuscript evidence, we have the writings of the church fathers that actually fill in the gaps, because you think
church fathers aren't eyewitnesses. We don't care about church fathers.
So what? So are you telling me? Hold on, Ninja. Are you see? This is where it gets. Yeah, see, this is where it gets crazy at. Tell me that every one of people in your chain of narrations for your hadiths is eyewitnesses.
Okay, watch this now.
Are they eyewitnesses, Ninja? Are they eyewitnesses?
Yeah, the companions who wrote.
No. I'm talking about who they passed it down to, and they heard it, and they heard it, and they heard it.
Who did they pass it down to? Do you know?
What are you talking about,
bro? This is your hadith science, bro.
He just cooked himself because whoever it was passed down to didn't write it. That's the point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
I'm saying in general.
So when you have somebody, whoever it was passed down to is the names that are within whatever Isnad chain you want to establish. That's fine.
But it's not. You don't know what you're talking
There
about.
all wasn't eyewitnesses in the chain.
That chain is used for the hadith.
That's what we're talking about.
No, you're not,
bro.
You're
Yeah.
not.
Oh my god.
What do you mean?
Yes,
we're talking about who gave you. We're talking about who gave you the history of your bro. What is going on?
The biography of the Prophet. First of all,
yes, that comes from the hadith too.
Hold on. They're written in the time of the Prophet.
Right. So the Isnad chain. Right. So you're saying who was it passed down to? It comes from the chain. The chain is deriving it back to who heard it, to the person who heard it from Muhammad. The problem that you have is that majority of that stuff is oral. So when you get to Bukhari, you have Bukhari being born 200 years after the event, telling you what stuff is correct and what is not.
Are you saying all of them are oral?
You have the same thing for Malik. Hold on, man. You have the same thing for Malik, who was born almost 100 years after Muhammad. These guys are the ones that are able to tell you about the story about Muhammad. So the argument is not to continue to go back to your Quran and your Hadith. Like, that's irrelevant right now.
You do know this.
We're trying to deal with Jesus in our historical context. The thing is that you guys are being inconsistent by saying you don't care about church fathers. The same way you believe Bukhari and Malik can pass down information about Muhammad and what he did is the same way our church fathers can do it. The difference is our church fathers are earlier than your guys.
Way earlier.
One sec.
And what it is.
Hold on. Relevance. Hold on 1 sec. We're talking about the 4 Gospels, okay? You mentioned the hadith. Okay, that's fine. If you want to interpret it, that's fine.
It's okay, bro. It's okay. You guys, hold on, stop, dude, because this is getting ridiculous. You guys have yet to prove how you guys know Jesus. That's the topic. Forget about the Bible right now. Y'all don't believe in it anyway. We're asking, can you provide any historical attestation that with explanatory power over what we have? So the Isa in the Quran, can you provide some kind of historical evidence that you trust that supersedes all of history? Are you able to do it? Yes or no?
Yeah, the simple thing that supersedes all of history, that supersedes all naturalistic history,
is the Quran.
Something called, I know theists don't know about
the Quran. That's what he about to bring up.
It's something called God.
I knew it.
Simple.
a claim.
Yeah, bro, get out of here. I don't have. I'm not in.
I would just like to ask him. Is it? Can you bring it back up real quick?
I knew he was just gonna say the Quran.
I dropped him, but he just every live he comes in, bro. He's just a bot, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. He does that on my live. He questions everything and provides no evidence. His only evidence that he thinks he's providing is Quran. He does this thing. He always does it. I just want him to know, if he can come up really quick. I don't know if you guys can send him an invite. I just want him to ask himself this question. Notice how every time when you have to submit to Quran as the answer for why your religion is true and everything else needs to be detailed and fine-tuned and checked, but when you fact check that history, you see an overwhelming amount of evidence against your book. I think your book is the one that needs to be in question. What you're doing is you're closing your eyes and you're saying, I don't care. This is from God. It doesn't matter how much evidence is against this book. That's what Muslims fail to realize when they're trying to say Quran, because we're all sitting here trying to throw in information. We're all trying to be as scholarly as possible with this. And Hassan, you have the nerve to come up and say, yeah, my book's from God, so I win. Like, come on.
It's just a one big circle, bro.
To realize is that unlike we're actual theists, we don't believe in naturalistic history. We're not atheists. We don't study history under naturalistic suspicions. Under naturalism, we will say that Jesus was crucified. That's historically under naturalism. But we don't affirm naturalism.
Oh, okay. So Hassan, let me ask you a question.
Supersedes all of this naturalistic history. Correct?
Hassan, do your God?
Affirm the same
hold
thing?
on.
Do you affirm the same thing?
Hold on, bro. Be quiet.
Do you affirm the same thing?
We believe in actual history. We believe in actual history.
You believe that God is
Hassan, be quiet. Be quiet. He just want to put everything on Allah. He can't explain nothing. So all he do is put everything on Allah. My God. So do you think? Hold on, Hassan. Just be quiet for 10 seconds, bro. Be quiet. He want to get dropped again. So Muslims don't believe that Allah actually operates within time and space and history to where he can be recorded accurately. Do your God operate within history in real time and real space?
Where are you getting?
All right, man.
Bro, it's just
get out of here, bro. You're a kid, man. Just block him, man. I'm tired of that kid.
See, I told you, bro. Like, I'm tired. Like, for real, please just block him.
Just block him.
He's a bot, dude. He cannot engage.
Yeah.
My God.
You throw a bunch of evidence at him, and he thinks because he submitted to his book being from God that he wins the argument. I mean, that's the prime Islamic argument, though. Our book is from God. Therefore, when you present evidence about stuff my book is talking about, then therefore I can just reject it as true because my book automatically gets to become true. That's Islam for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's not our fault that this Muhammad guy spoke on history that was already documented. And when you guys go and look, and when you go, what are you talking about, dude?
His name is Muhammad.
His name is Muhammad.
Don't say Muhammad, guy. Watch him off, bro.
What do you mean? I said, what are you talking about, bro? Muhammad, I said his name.
Because you Christians don't respect Jesus and call him a curse.
You don't know nothing about Jesus. This is the topic.
Wait, hold on, word. Wait, hold on, word.
God,
word.
I'm just saying.
What are you talking about? I said that guy Muhammad, bro. What are you talking about? How's that disrespectful?
Yeah, it does. Put respect on his name, bro.
Brother, he's not my prophet. I don't respect Muhammad, bro.
To be your prophet. That's fine.
I don't have to respect Muhammad the way you want me to.
You don't see me disrespecting the Holy Spirit, do you? Because
y'all listen, bro. Y'all disrespect Christianity. Y'all disrespect Jesus all of the time. Your book is a disrespect to
he's a
Jesus.
blessing. Does you say he's a blessing or curse?
Ninja down, bro. I don't know what's wrong with you, bro. I've been sitting here quiet this whole time. Ain't nobody.
Hold on, life.
I'm not finna argue with you, bro.
Our Bible's God. What are you talking about?
Notice this. All right, give me a second. Notice how this guy makes a claim. And I'm trying to directly address his because I said that guy, Muhammad. Bro. He's a guy, and his name was Muhammad. Like he's not a prophet to me. I mean, I could have said something worse than that, but I didn't. And he's still mad because I don't address Muhammad the way he wants me to address Muhammad. do not need to be allowed in your area because of weirdos like that. Because when a Muslim gets a lot of power and they get a lot of control, this is exactly what they'll do. They'll want you to address their prophet the way that they want you to address him. And when you don't, even in the slightest, they'll get mad and irritated and try to make up something. Notice that I didn't do anything to this dude. I didn't say anything wrong about him. I sat and listened to the conversation for about an hour before I decided to speak. I say that guy, Muhammad, and this dude wants to say, whoa, put some respect on his name. When your book is literally a disrespect to Jesus, but you don't see us in here crying. You don't see us in here crying. We're just trying to have the conversation.
And if I may just add this, if you want to know who disrespected Muhammad, the day he died, right after he died, I'm being a little bit, not the very day, very soon after, a whole bunch of Muslims left that religion and followed another prophet. They disrespected him. They didn't consider him the last prophet. They had the war of apostasy because they went and followed another prophet. So within your own clan, your own people, they had a 1 year war, had multiple wars over this. 1 year. They had about, tens of thousands of Muslims who left and said, this dude is not the last prophet. This other guy, Musalayama, there's some chick named another prophet. They disrespected them. So if you want to come at us, you want to come at us when you had a war of apostasy when I would say about 40% of them quit. You don't go to war for over a year over 100 people. It doesn't take 100 people to annihilate 100 people. They had a year of war of apostasy. Your very people who were under Muhammad said, screw this guy. I'm going with another prophet.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the only reason he acted like that, because he was pretty cool this whole time. The only reason he acted like that was because either he started to understand what we were saying and he realized he didn't have an answer, or he just started to feel alone because we kicked his boy. So he had to he literally had to manifest so that we would kick him. I mean, bro, just look, man, you're in a cult, bro. I'm sorry, obvious that you're in a cult. You just